Though Toyota tried really hard to keep the all-new 2022 Toyota Tundra away from our prying eyes, well, they failed miserably, because what we're looking at right now is pretty much identical and exactly the same as the pictures we saw leaked on the internet a few weeks or maybe even months ago. But I did mention that this is all new, and in fact, it is completely ground up, a completely new truck. Some Toyota people did tell us that maybe one bolt and a nut, maybe two nuts are shared with the current generation truck, but everything else is all new, and that goes all the way down to the completely boxed frame front to back. As you can see, the front end of the truck is very much reminiscent of the current generation Tundra. It is instantly recognizable as being a Tundra, but everything about it is new. LED lights are standard all around for every trim. Standard fog lights, which are actually really cool. This model happens to be a Trd Pro, so it's got a few extra lights there in the grille, which number one. Oh, and if you're looking at the textures of the plastics, these are early production or maybe even pre-production models. So what you see is not 100% what you're gonna get, but the overall styling is. Now the Trd Pro obviously is the model we all want to know more about, and it will come with 18-inch forged BBS wheels, which are to die for. They're absolutely fantastic. The ground clearance is a little bit higher than all the other trims obviously, but we don't have the exact numbers as of yet. Now, new for the 2022 Tundra is the fact that you can get, there are two cabs. There's the double cab and the crew cab. This Trd Pro is a crew cab, and there's another Trd Sport behind you, or behind the camera, that also has a crew cab. And they are now available with both the 5.5 foot box and, for the first time, the 6.5 foot box. If you go for the double cab, you do have access to the 6.5 to start and also the 8 foot box. Now, as you soak in, I forget the name of the color, unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention to that part of the video, but this Trd Pro looks really good. You do see the dual exhaust. They didn't mention anything specific about the suspension on it, although I suspect it's Fox shocks as on the current Trd Pro. And if we come around, we can see a few more of the details as far as the LED lights are concerned. And I'm a little bit saddened by this because, you know, loved that Trd sticker on the side, it's gone. But it's been replaced by a Trd Pro stamping in the actual tailgate. Now, the tailgate itself is dampened slightly, and well, the box is the box. It's got all your typical, you know, little notches and hooks and all that for any type of activity or work you might do. And now the burning question in all our minds is, what is powering the all-new 22 Tundra? Well, I can tell you that the iForce engine is still around, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the previous iForce V8 engines. No, there were rumors online that there was going to be a V6 engine, and in fact, it is a V6. It's a 3.5 liter unit with 2 turbos, 2 intercoolers, and there are 2 versions of it. In the base Tundra, the iForce will produce 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you step into the iForce Max, which is what is under the hood of this Trd Pro, you're looking at a staggering 437 horsepower and a massive 583 pound-feet of torque. That's because it's a hybrid. It's got an electric motor between the V6 and the standard 10-speed automatic transmission. So we can expect 2 things: serious amount of efficiency for a full-size pickup, and definitely a lot of capability. The exact towing number is not yet known or hasn't been shared, but we're looking at least 12,000 pounds. I forgot to mention one thing about those with the crew cab. You get a full-length power lowering window, which is absolutely fantastic. What a great feature to have in your Tundra. If you have the iForce Max, there is a battery, and it is located beneath the rear bench. Now, in the non-iForce Max models, this is all storage, as you would expect in a typical pickup truck. All right, the cabin has been completely updated, as you can very well see. The highlights are a 4.2-inch display, which is fairly typical in a lot of Toyota products for the basic models. Now this TRD Pro has the full 12.3-inch digital IP, which is lovely. Graphics are always fantastic. Now the center screen, now this is really interesting because the standard models get an 8-inch display, and the Tundra, when you have a higher trim, such as the TRD Pro, you get a full 14-inch display, which is actually a little bit bigger than Chevy Silverado's brand new 13.4-inch display. I don't know if there's a war going on. There's a towing war, and then there's a display screen size war going on. There are a number of new knobs and switches, but everything is very straightforward. Something you typically expect from Toyota and in the Tundra. The 4x4 or the all-wheel drive switch button down here is actually very straightforward. I don't think you can see it from where the camera guy is sitting, but it's a very simple matter of, yeah, thank you, pushing down and then going into 4 high and then into 4 low. It's actually kind of cool, very useful. Your drive modes are right there. And as always, something I love about these full-size trucks is you get full-size storage essentially. There's your wireless charging system, your cup holders, and then you have storage, and then storage, and then storage. It's kind of mad. The seats are actually really nice. This TRD Pro has these cool camo setup. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but everything is perforated and they're heated and cooled, and the heater units go all the way up to the top of your back, which is a really nice feature, especially for us Canadians. Heated steering wheel, and the level of equipment is enormous. Now pricing obviously has not yet been announced, but I do know that first drives will happen very shortly, so hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you in the near future.